Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords podcast. I'm Lee, the Arcane Admiral, joined here by the Lord Magnate himself, Alexander Cron.
Hey guys, it's us two again.
We're still missing Hayden because he's off doing his military stuff rather than playing at military stuff.
He's off playing with his Fire Slayers still.
Yeah. And we're missing Dan because Dan has too much of a real life. As
I don't
always.
think Dan's on any of our episodes yet, has he?
No. It's just at the times and having young kids. He's also moving now as well, so it just doesn't work out, unfortunately. But once he's moved, maybe we'll be able to get him involved.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you been up to, Alex? You went to a tournament, didn't you?
Yeah, so I went to a little tournament in Melbourne. That had about 50, 60 people.
But that was how did you do? First of all?
Lords of War, that was it. Lords of War.
Yeah.
I believe I came 13th. I won 3 out of 5 games.
Okay, 13th is still pretty good.
But I met some guys there. Some other KO players. There was a good KO representation there.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, was that the tournament? Because this is a while back now, wasn't it? Was that the one where some people recognise you from this podcast?
Yeah, some people apparently actually listen to this thing. Who knew?
Well, do you remember who those people were? Do you want to say hello to them?
Oh,
I set you up for a fall now, haven't I?
Just a bit.
Sorry.
We got hats. We got hats and everything.
Well,
we had a great time.
Okay. Well, that was GHB 2018 rules, wasn't it?
Yes, that was it. It was on the very weekend that GHB 19 came out. So, we were still using the GHB 18, but we were looking at 19 as it was happening, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of like playing the games and also trying to half read the new GHB.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what armies did you win against? What did you lose against?
So I played against. Let me think. There were Chaos Dwarves. There was Zench. There were There was a Fire Slayers. I played pretty much every kind of dwarf.
Okay, well that's cool.
We even there was a dispossessed player there. Every dwarf was at that tournament. It was great.
Brilliant. Well, it's better than playing, rubbish elves or monsters or things.
These elves.
Yeah, everyone's elves. Okay, so
what else did I play against? And so I lost against the Chaos Dwarves and the Zench, and I won against the Fire Slayers. Oh, there was a Legion of Night guy who ran 3 zombie dragons against my Zilfin Skyhawk list. So that went pretty well.
Was one of them ethereal?
Yeah, he was. Ethereal won't help
that one.
How many Skyhawks?
Yeah. So was your list your sort of standard list that you were running in the old GHB?
Yep. So that was like the last hurrah of the evocators before they got pointed out of allies, basically.
Yeah.
Who was the 4th? Who was the 5th guy? I'll remember it later.
Okay.
It'll come back to me. Yeah, the games I lost, it was because I was too aggressive, especially against Zench.
Yeah.
he was able to basically mortal wound all 40 of the Archnaut blob off turn 1. Which
was that
devastating.
Was that with a Gaunt Summoner?
With a Gaunt Summoner, and then with a Lord of Change, and then just pink horrors and blue scribes and everybody. They were in range of everybody.
Or just all their spells and everything and all their sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
squad got mortal wounded off the table before I could do anything. It's a change host.
Yeah. I think did Zinc got some point reductions as well, didn't they, in the GHB?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
to be honest, Zinch isn't in a great place.
Yeah, so we might end up seeing them more, and therefore you might end up seeing things like the Gaunt Summoner more.
Yeah.
Which is not good for a big blob of Archnaut company.
No, but I don't mind playing against Zinch. Just, we have so much that hurts them. They have so many units, so much magic that we don't do magic, so they don't get any summoning points out of that.
Yeah. And we can normally pick off their wizards, to be fair.
Yeah. It's all about the characters with them.
Yeah, and we're good at killing characters.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just dropped an engine rigger.
What are you doing?
I'm just doing some painting. Because I've got a tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. And they basically adopted all of the...
Luke, that was his name. Luke, stop.
Okay.
The other Kharadron Overlords guy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. He's in the Facebook group.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, well, that's cool. Got to meet him. It's cool to meet some other KO players.
Yeah. Hey, there were 4 of us at that tournament, which I was very happy about.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a popular army. There's if you consider how popular it is when after all of these nerfs that we've had, that shows something. I mean, if we prove to be good in the upcoming meta, I think a lot of people will end up adopting them.
Yeah. Although it's looking like we're not getting a book anytime soon. I think I've seen the next few releases are like Sylvaneth and Seraphon and Ogres. I think Ogres.
Yeah. Well, Auric War Clans.
Oh yeah, Oryx and Free Cities.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be in the Free Cities.
Just because of Free Cities. Kharadron Overlords will still be a faction with doing fine.
Yes. Yes, we're not being squatted.
Even though we look a lot like squats, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you've segued very nicely onto the news there. Well done. So, yeah, what do you think of Free Cities?
Well, I've got a friend who absolutely loves it because that's been his army this whole time, just Free Cities. It opens up some nice things for options for people who've been trying to use order armies in whatever wacky combinations they can try. I've always wanted to do like a Ironweld Arsenal thing.
Yeah. Well, I've always sort of flirted with the idea of doing a Tempest Eye list.
Yeah.
And I've always sort of had on the back burner this idea for a Luminarch conversion or a Celestial Hurricane conversion.
Oh, yeah.
So I might finally actually do that.
That gives you the +1 to hit on all your boats and all your Arcanauts. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is you can, since the GHB, you can take both the Hurricanum and the Luminarch without the wizard on top.
Yeah, you can.
There's a cheaper version, really. It's quite cool.
Yeah. Although I don't think I'd use them in a tournament, but that's just because I'm a KO purist, and as if my allegiance doesn't say KO, I don't feel like I'm playing KO.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. But I'm intrigued. If I can, as long as I can put models on the table that are like majority KO, and the ones that aren't KO are converted and look KO themed and are all cohesive looking, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, I mean, I'm quite intrigued to see what we get from Cities of Sigmar. But yeah, to address all the concerns people are having, yeah, KO as its own allegiance ability isn't going anywhere. I don't know what people think it would be. And I don't think there will even be any KO war scrolls in the book. I think it would just be the only war scrolls will be all the old ones.
It's going to be all the war scrolls don't have any. They're like just on the website at the moment.
Yeah,
like the Free Guild and the Iron World and the Phoenix Guard and what have you.
Yeah, and then I think on the allegiance abilities for the cities, it will just say for like stuff like Stormcast and Silverdeath and us. It will just say like, oh, this city can also include models with the Stormcast or KO keyword, won't it?
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. It'll probably turn out to be wrong. I had been making a prediction about how the release was going to work, and I found out today that I was completely wrong because I got Oryx and Ogres completely mixed up.
Oh yeah,
they look the same.
I mean, they've been
they don't look the same.
Ogres around, haven't they? Like in the rumor engine, and like I think in one of the open days they put up like a silhouette of an ogre. So I think they're coming out real soon.
Yeah, well, there's a new ogre hero. I went to the open day, which was last weekend. Yeah. So that was cool. For the first time that I've been to Warhammer World. And hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, it's so impressive.
It was cool. I didn't have tickets to the seminars where they do all the Q&As and stuff. I think if I went again, I might do. But
you could talk to our Lord and Savior Duncan, couldn't you?
I don't know. I didn't see him. I did. There were people obviously I did recognise. I saw Ben Johnson walking around, and what's his name? Oh, now I'm going blank on names. The head rules writer guy.
Jervis Johnson.
Yeah, that's it, Jervis. But yeah, so it's cool. Saw the exhibition centre bit. Where they got really cool KO displays.
Yeah,
I got some ideas. I got ideas from the 40k stuff as well.
Really?
Because we have a lot of flying stuff.
Yeah.
And they've done those big 40k like Chaos Dragony things.
The Helldrakes, yeah.
They had some of them where instead of a flight stand in the like on a display, it was like shooting fire out of his mouth, and then that was exploding where it hit the ground and stuff, and that was its flight stand.
Okay.
And then the actual fire was the flight stand essentially, and there was also they've done similar things, but they hadn't used them as flight stands for the KO, where they were like shooting skyhooks, and they're like half coming out the guns. So I was wondering if there's possibilities there for a flight stand for a ship.
Maybe. I mean, it's all basically just metal rods. There's like discreetly placed metal rods.
Yeah. And there was also there was a frigate, which I think the actual idea of the model was a giant. But I don't know if the giant was basically there was a model where it was a giant holding a frigate.
Okay.
I don't know whether it was meant to be a giant that just happened to be holding a frigate, or whether the giant was meant to be a flight stand for the frigate. But it's pretty cool.
You know, they had a KO display board.
Well, they've got a big KO. I don't know what they're fighting against. I was only looking at the KO stuff. They've got a big KO display. And then there's just lots of glass cases that aren't proper displays, but with loads of models in, like basically every model they do.
Oh yeah, all the heavy metal stuff.
Yeah, all beautifully painted and stuff, and there's conversions and stuff as well. So there's just lots of cool stuff to take inspiration from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Well, obviously the main news from it was Warcry and Cities of Sigmar and the new Oryx book.
Yeah. Warcry looks interesting. It's like AoS Kill Team.
Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to play it. They had it on display, and you could play it, but you had to kind of stand next to a table for ages and wait until it was your turn, basically.
All right.
But I did manage to paint an iron golem. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some conversion options there, isn't there?
Yeah, possibly. If you want to do some like Chaos Marauders or something.
Yeah, or well, like heavily armored KO, like an alternate Admiral sculpt, almost. I think.
Yeah, or maybe like Thunderers, possibly.
Yeah.
There's. I mean, they're nice looking models, and I got to try some contrast paints with them.
Oh yeah, contrast came out too.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, not great for us, I think.
No.
It's very good on flesh tones, so demons love it.
Yeah.
Dwarves of Cain, they love it. Kharadron Overlords with all the metal. Nah.
It's not ideal for us. I don't think it really works for my personal painting style either, because I generally tend to make a lot of mistakes and then have to go back with another colour and fix the mistakes. And then you can't do that so well with contrast.
Yeah.
Like if you
beginner's paint, it's complicated.
Yeah. I mean, you can use it as a beginner's paint if you just want to do a model pretty much one colour and then, or a couple of colours, and like you were saying, something that's mostly flesh.
Yeah. I would like demons and corn guys, even, I guess.
Yeah.
Just one coat and you're done.
Yeah. And then pick out some details, the weapons or whatever. One thing I think it could be useful for KO is if you're starting a new KO army and you want to do like coloured metallics.
Yeah.
Because you can do lead belcher or retributor armor or something, and then put a colour contrast over the top.
Yeah, which makes a metallic. You can make metallic red or metallic blue, and I see
cool.
For Horus Heresy stuff like Thousand Suns colors. Yeah.
So I mean, I might, if I do some mercenaries or allies, then I might do that. and use the Iron Golem models, because most of my army is pretty much the standard paint scheme for Barrack Nar, except for I tweaked it a bit by adding some green and stuff. So I tried out on the Iron Golem I tried doing like a green metallic, but maybe you could do like a burgundy pink metallic to match the the burgundy fatigues and the KO and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see, because I'm not really going down that route in my army at the moment, of adding mercenaries or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if many tournaments are allowing mercenaries, which I'm kind of happy about, but I'm also kind of sad that I can't use my loyal 21 ghoul. Because
yeah, I mean,
that's the fluffy option.
It depends, because I mean, that was the other thing that came out of the GHB was basically they've suggested tournament rules.
Yeah,
and
I have some issues with those tournament rules. Look, if I roll a bad dice, people are gonna hear about that. I want the right to complain about my dice rolls and my opponent's dice rolls.
Yeah, like if you're playing against Flesh Eater Courts and he's got a Royal Terror guy thingy, and he rolls 3 6s when he does his fanged maw attacks and does 18 mortal wounds, I think you have a right to be a bit unhappy.
I want the right to be able to complain, dang it. No, they're mostly sensible. They're good. They're along the same vein of the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament rules that came out a little while ago, where it was like all players must wear deodorant to tournaments, or you will get kicked out.
Yeah, probably makes sense.
It kind of does.
Yeah, the tournament I'm going to in a couple of weeks has pretty much adopted them fully, except for the fact that they have announced the battle plans already.
Okay, so you know what the army, the missions you're doing.
Yeah, so there's only one day. There's only 3. But the key thing for me is obviously there's all the points for painting, including the things like highlighting, which is a bit that way I find a bit weird because I generally go for quite a subtle highlight on my models.
Yeah.
Rather than like just slapping on a really bright color along the edge, and that like it's some things that look really good from far away don't look so good up close.
No.
So I always just try to do my models so they look nice up close, which obviously then normally makes the highlights not quite subtle. And then obviously your opponent has got to judge your models now to say whether you've highlighted them sufficiently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of points available. I worked it out, and just from painting scores and sportsmanship scores, you can get more points than you would get from getting a major win.
Okay. If you have sportsmanship and perfect painting.
Yeah, you get more points than it's like getting more than it's like it's over a 3-day tournament because you get points for each game you play.
Okay.
And it's not just over the course of the day. So each round, you could either get or not get those painting points.
So it's more of a hobby tournament than a gaming tournament.
It's still a gaming tournament, but because they're just using the points suggested by Games Workshop, aren't they? But it's interesting because the same store in the past hasn't even had a painting requirement. So you could literally turn up to a tournament with unpainted models.
Yeah. Are you going to a Games Workshop store tournament?
No, it's a independent store.
Okay.
But
because the Games Workshop store tournaments I go to, they don't have any painting requirements. The big independent ones, though, have like in the players packets. If your models are grey and look like this, then they're going to get removed off of the table if anyone sees that.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing, and
It motivates people to just. They don't need to be look. They don't need to look good. They just need to have paint on them.
Yeah. I think the danger is where they say things like, has the model had shade applied, and has it been highlighting things, and different people will look at that and have different sort of definitions and say, oh, you've only highlighted one of the colours, not every single colour you've used, or things like that. And
yeah,
you know, like, and they've just released contrast paints, and it doesn't fit with that. Like, if you use contrast paint, does that count as having a shade?
Yeah, it'll look like you've highlighted, but you won't have.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm just prepping for this tournament. I'm not running really the most optimal list because obviously with points reductions, points reductions basically mean we can fit more on a list now.
Oh yeah.
So where I had 2,000 points and I was happy with it before, and I was like, yeah, I'd go to a tournament and play that. Now I'm a bit like, oh, I can put more stuff in, but now I've got to go and paint stuff, or I can swap that unit of engine riggers for Sky Wardens and stuff, a bit more of them. In fact, I haven't got the Sky Wardens, but so then I have to build and paint them, and I just haven't got the time.
Yeah.
So I'm going with what should be a relatively competitive list, but it's not what I want my, like, say if our points level stay at this sort of rate next year as well, it's not really what I want to be long term.
Yep.
Because I'm going to run an Ironclad, but I think maybe I might move to like a double frigate list with a battalion.
Yeah, keep with the Iron Sky Squadron list.
Yeah, I quite like the idea of playing them. I just bought a second frigate off a mate, so that's why I probably want to move to in the long run. But for this tournament, I just want to play my Ironclad because in previous, like last year, I was running my frigate, and the Ironclad have actually owned longer, but it's actually not been properly painted.
Oh wow!
Like it got to a point. It's played tournament, but like I said, because that store never used to have a proper painting requirement. It wasn't done to the standard I would have liked, basically.
Yeah,
and I played with it, but it let down the rest of my army. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I moved to playing the frigate, partly because it was less points and I wasn't going to be playing as many ships, or you know, wasn't wasting as many points. But I just want to get it finished. Pardon?
Give that Ironclad an Ordinator.
Well, I have one, and I haven't painted, so I could do. But I'm thinking I'm going to run Zilfin.
Yep. Oh, you're going to strike it? You're going to bring it down?
With a slight twist, because I'm going to have a unit of 20 Arkanauts.
Okay.
So I have the option, if I want to go high, if I can afford to go higher drops, that I can deep strike the 20 Arkanauts.
Yeah.
And
pardon? I'd almost give those dropping Arkanauts 6 volley guns.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, they're probably with a chemist. But...
yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're spending on a chemist as well, then just go Skyhawks.
Because they're going to drop alongside a unit of Sky Wardens and a unit of riggers, and basically it depends on the battle plan and who I'm playing against. Because
I don't know. If you don't want to use that chemist on this Arkanauts, I'd go with volley guns, especially because they'll all be in range. And volley guns are all right.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But the part of the thinking is I've got choices with how I deploy.
Yeah.
So I don't have to put them in the ship. One of the battle plans is to do Scorched Earth.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna need some defensive.
Yeah, so I think if I can in that battle plan, I'll spread those 20 across the back two objectives with a chemist, and then I'll have my other two Archon companies on the front two. And basically anything that moves forward on to try and take, because it's such a long distance on that objective, on that battle plan.
Because it changed
right back.
Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
There's a long distance between like the back couple of objectives.
Yeah, there's a long way. Which we're almost segueing into what we were going to talk about, which is the battle plan. But before we do, I want to it's not news, but you already sort of, set the record straight regarding like the fact that KO is not going anywhere.
Yep.
I want to set the record straight with something else, which is the way a lot of people recently have been talking about skyhooks. So a lot of people are talking about it as if it's a done fact that 3 skyhooks in a Unit 10 is going away. And so some people even talking about it as if it's going to happen in Cities of Sigmar, which is not. Like, there's no reason to think it's going to happen in Cities of Sigmar at all. Is there?
Yeah. No, they're not gonna take KO down that far.
Like, I think there's a I feel bad about this because it was almost my own fault because I posted it in the Kharadron Overlords Facebook group when the Storm Fiends thing came to look as like a little public service announcement, like this might happen, so maybe don't go and spend like £8 per skyhook and just spend loads of money on bits. It's like maybe consider that it might happen and look at cheaper options. But people are acting like it's guaranteed fact now, and it's not. Like, it's a good idea to.
You're our heralder. You're our news guy.
Well, yeah, but what I've done is I supplied something as a possibility, and people are talking about it as fact, which is a bit worrying. Like, they're giving it as advice to new players: don't build skyhooks because they're going to go away, and that's not the case, is it?
No.
So it's a possibility. But if someone has told you skyhooks are definitely going away, that's not what's happening. They could go away, but as you said earlier, the new book doesn't look like it's on the horizon that soon, does it?
No, I don't. Hayden said this to us. I don't think it, and it's starting to look more and more true. I don't think we're getting a book this year.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I really want one, and I really want Battle Line. Please give us Battle Line. But
no, I mean, yeah. Until the Cities of Sigmar book was announced, I was thinking we would maybe get a book within the next 6 months, maybe up to the next 9 months. But with that coming out, I think it's less likely.
Yeah. No, there's a whole bunch of other books that need to be updated, I guess.
Because both that and the Auric Warclans books have both come out of left field, and no one was really expecting them.
Guess Everchosen need an update too, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But
wonder if they'll actually do that, make like an updated Archaon book with more units?
Maybe. I mean, wasn't it? I can't remember how it worked before because I never played it, but it was like you could basically have any chaos model, pretty much, wasn't it, before?
Yeah.
Because I used to get a lot of playing. Now with the changes to the battalion rules, it doesn't really work, does it?
Although you could, I guess that's how they could bring out all these Slaves to Darkness models, all the Slaves to Darkness rules.
Yeah, it does look like there's going to be some Slaves of Darkness stuff. But we'll see. But yeah, I don't think we're going to get a book anytime soon. Someone else out in the chat. That's not coming soon. But yeah, I'm on the hype train for Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, there's some nasty stuff you can do with that, and make it KO centric.
I mean, there's nothing. There will be. I mean, I think we only have the choice of Tempest Eye or Hammerhorn. That's based purely off the current Firestorm rules. But there's nothing to stop you with either of those building a 100% KO army, is there?
I think the new city also had KO in it.
Oh yeah, left is rubbish.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I think that one had KO in it.
Yeah, don't mention that to Dan. He's not happy about that.
All right.
Because it's still combat based, isn't it?
It just kind of helps Achelian Guard, the eel people.
It's all combat based. It's all defensive combat based. Like you get it when your opponent charges you.
Okay.
So it's not good for KO, is it?
That's then.
But
yeah, the moment someone charges us, we're gone. We're out.
Yeah, and unless you've got Thunderers and you've got lots of them, and then potentially. But then even then, the Lepus rules are not good because you're going to retreat out of combat. You're not going to be attacking them in combat and using rerolls or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, in FAQs and such, with the new GHB, wasn't there a thing with the zombie with the Terrorgeist that if they
with Bristlegore. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's quite big news. Actually, we should probably mention that. So basically, it only fights first now if it charged in the turn it charged.
Yeah.
Which means that for us, means we can charge Riggers in to kill it and kill it.
We can actually charge it with Ender Riggers and take it down.
Yeah. That's a big change.
Yeah.
We don't have to rely on shooting. Like we can still shoot it if we want, but you don't have to. We've got more options for killing it, which is good.
Yep.
Always good. So Crystal Gore, I mean, I was never really worried about fighting Crystal Gore because we had the tool to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I think now, even now with their points changes and that change, I'm less worried about facing them.
Yeah, I think we got it. We got this.
Could have maybe done with some more changes to Skaven, but
still yet to play against Gristlegore in a tournament.
Yeah, to be honest, I've not played them in a tournament. I've only played against my mate in practice games. So
yeah.
But I just generally like it's quite handy because they have the terrain piece that goes before you deploy anything. You know their arch regents are going to want to go near that terrain piece.
Yeah, so you can kind of position your guys to just like shoot whatever tries to step on that throne.
Yeah, so yeah, you just put your Archonauts companies opposite it if you've got them, and then they're put in this awkward situation where they're like, well, I can put my arch regents there and they're going to get shot, or I don't put them there and then I don't get free summoning. I have to pay command. So.
Oh yeah, and people aren't going to have 1 billion command points anymore because you're limited to only buying one.
Oh yeah, that's not good for us there either,
isn't it? When do we use command points
in Monar? Yeah, so if I was to run a Monar list in GHB 2018, I would have played a 1900 point list. Because it's cheaper to run a battalion, and then you'd have 3 command points to start the game in case you need to, because you're going to run, shoot, and charge. So that's 1 command point. You need to make a run roll at 6, and then if you wanted to re-roll that charge potentially, it is nice. I mean, it wasn't necessary to have the extra one, but with the way our points work out for lists anyway, you quite often end up at 1900 points anyway. So it's just like, well, that was a handy little bonus, and now you don't get it.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the game, it's a good change.
And we could also do more with command points now, though.
Yeah,
but that's we have a lot of stuff that can do that anyway.
Yeah, it helps, like Zilfin and stuff, where you go, I'm playing against an army that doesn't fly, and you're like, well, at least I can get some reroll ones still.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's probably more. That's a good point. I'm not going to check the wording of it. I quite like the combat one for riggers more than I like it for shooting.
Yeah, no, that would help. Although most things riggers fight are also big and flying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of these things, it depends what you're fighting against and who you're playing against, and you know what you want to target. But I generally find big flying things, I kind of want to shoot because I don't want them coming across the board towards me. You want to deal with them early, is the thing. So either you want to send your riggers into them early, or you want to shoot them early. Because it's generally the flying things that come across the board quickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
And will end up causing you problems. So, but okay, so that's that. So do you wanna? We're gonna go through the battle plans from the GHB 2019. Talk about them from a KO perspective. Have you got any other news, or do you want to go through that now?
I don't think I have any other news. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I think we've covered everything.
Oh, well, before we do it, actually, do you have just a general view of what you think the battle plans and the new points have sort of done to KO list, other than like the obvious points things, just generally what you think is better and what's got better and what's got worse?
I mean, I think personally that boats are better and usable now.
Yeah.
Not frigates. Still, I don't. Well, if you buy the frigate for transport, yes. If you buy the frigate for a gunboat, you still got the gun hauler now, which is actually kind of good. It's got the cannon. It's also like 70 points cheaper now than a frigate.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't actually subscribe to the gun hauler being good, but yeah, if you want a ship for doing damage, the frigate is not it. Really?
No, Ironclad is nice now.
Yeah,
380 points for something that does that much firepower. Yeah.
Yeah, it does quite a lot, and it's a considerable investment for your opponent to try and get rid of it.
Yeah, it's 18 wounds. It's a fair amount.
Yeah, and on a 4-up save as well.
It could really be a 3-up save, but all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My sort of quick overview would be, ships feel like less for tax, but I don't think they're where the general killiness in the army comes from still.
No, that's still just Arcanauts or Skyhawks.
Yeah, well, generally speaking now, I like where all the units are now. Like Sky Wardens, Engine Riggers, Arcanauts. I think every unit is viable now in the right list.
Yeah, I do like that they make Sky Wardens a lot more usable.
Yeah, and I like. Sorry, go on.
They need to be 100 points.
Yeah. definitely. Well, I like the pointings because it just makes everything a possibility. I think Thunderers at 90 is pretty genius.
I mean, does it change much for Thunderers though?
I think it does because, like, if Sky Wardens hadn't have gone down, then it wouldn't have made any difference. But because Sky Wardens went down to 100, they need to be cheaper than Sky Wardens.
Yeah.
Because if not, you just take Sky Wardens. There's an inherent extra cost for taking Thunderers because you need a ship.
You really do.
Like because if you're not going to use a ship, then you might as well just have Arcanauts because they've got the Sky longer range.
They're better range. Yeah.
So they need to be cheap. For Sky Wardens to be viable, they have to be 100. They have to be cheaper than Riggers. And for Thunderers to be viable, they've got to be cheaper than Sky Wardens.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's all the point. And chemists went down to 140. So which just means all your lists will have an extra 20, 40 points to play with.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, and that's what I was saying. It's like I had 2,000 points before I was happy with, and now I still have 2,000 points that I can play, but I feel like I need to go and buy this and this and this now because with the changing points for the chemists and the Thunderers and the Sky Wardens, you can potentially build some quite different lists now because if you combine those point changes and the points changes of the ships, you can. There's just a lot of things that weren't possible before that are now.
Yeah. Oh. Right, and Evocators went up in points to 220, so you can't take 10 anymore.
Yeah.
I've looked into it, and I think 5 Evocators and 5 Protectors might be good. Protectors give you they're the Paladin Stormcast with the giant spears, or like with the swords basically that are on spears.
Yeah, did I suggest those to you? In the chat? I think so.
They give you
give you +1 to save, don't they? Or -1 to hit or something.
They give you a cover save if you're behind them, and they have a 3-inch range. And if they're fighting monsters, they do loads of damage on 6s.
Yeah. So for your particular army build, they're a great choice because they're ticking all the boxes you want, where they've got more than 1 inch range, so they can fight from behind a screen of 10 Argonauts.
Yeah.
They do decent damage, and they also make your Argonaut block behind them more survivable.
Yeah, and they're 180 points, which works perfectly with the Evocators 220.
Yeah. So
that's my view.
Yeah, my other view is that despite going down in point, Brock Grunson is less valuable now than he was before.
How so?
Well, we touched on the thing about the command points.
Yeah.
It's mostly the battle plans. So once we start going through them, I don't generally think the Monar build is as powerful now as it used to be.
Okay. Just because of the deployment changed.
Yeah, because of the change in deployments and the distances involved in things, like nearly half the battle plans are 18 inches away, which is very good for that. But actually, when you look at what the objectives are, they're too far away.
Yeah.
So, like some of the battle plans, like you're like 30 inches from the objectives. your enemies' ones.
Yeah.
To run, shoot, and charge, it's not enough. And then if that's not enough, and you're going to run grapnels, then why are you running Monar?
Yeah, and you could just be using grapnels with Zilfin.
Yeah, or Urbaz or Fring or any other. It doesn't necessarily game mode. And also the distances of your own objective to central objectives or your enemy objectives are in some maps quite far. That like a block of Argonauts don't get that thing where they can sit on an objective in your deployment zone and they'll be shooting you in their deployment zone.
Yeah, okay.
Like they're still good because they're still like very efficient.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, before that was like a hidden bonus. A lot of people didn't realise this. Just like your 3-man unit, not 3-man units, your 10-man units, 3 Skyhawks would participate in the battle from 24 inches away and actually be putting pressure on your enemy's objectives while still holding your own. And they can't do that from the new battle plans. They're just too far away.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So should we start going through them then?
Yeah. Oh, there's another thing. Was I think Urbaz is not good anymore because artifacts are less needed. Like they changed that one battle plan. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. 3 places of power or places of arcane power.
I don't know. They all have similar names, don't they? Yeah. But yeah, you know the one I mean. So I think, and yeah, so I don't think. I mean, Urbaz is the meeting page, I think, potentially, but I haven't had a chance to actually play that yet. So.
Oh, meeting engagement. Yeah. Yeah, that I think that's a lot of the Games Workshop store tournaments are doing meeting engagements now. Just because it's easier for them. Seems like a fun game. It's smaller.
I'm gonna want to try it. There was a league local store was going to be doing, but I just haven't got the time to do it. It's starting before this other tournament I want to go to, and I just need to spend all my time painting.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, but I'm going to try it out, and then I think it'd be cool to do a show dedicated to it at some point.
Yeah, the pre-tournament crunch as well. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through some battle plans.
Okay. Yeah. So the first one,
Hello?
Yeah. Knife to the heart. Yeah.
So that's quite a big change in deployment.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's the L shape. It's just like it looks like they're trying to make a simplified version of the diagonals. Really?
Yeah, they've done a lot of changes to diagonals.
20 inches at some kind of angle, like 20 inches from the corner. They've actually got proper measurements now, which is nice.
It's easier. It's going to be easier to set up.
Yeah, I mean that they've got measurements for this one. They don't have measurements for all of them. There's one in particular that I really, really don't like because they don't give you any info.
Yeah. So this one you start 80 apart in theory, but because of the weird shape, you often won't be 18 inches from like an enemy unit. Like you can be 18 inches from an enemy unit if they deploy opposite you. But because of like the fact that it's like an L shape, you could quite often be more of like an angle from an enemy unit, and like the actual like you see like the middle bit where your middle third, which is 24 inches, isn't it? Because you have to be 9 inches from enemy territory on that left hand side of your bit, you can't deploy there. So actually, that's what 24 minus 9. So there's only 15 inches there where you can deploy and be 18. And then there's also only 15 inches where your enemy can deploy opposite you.
Yeah.
And then of those 15 inches, where your 15 inches and their 15 inches overlap, there's only 4 inches. No, wait, 6 inches, sorry. So in that middle bit, there's only actually a 6-inch area where you would be 18 inches apart. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a lot of the times you will be more than 18 inches from like an enemy unit.
So you have to be careful where you're deploying to make sure that your combat unit is in fact 18 inches away from the enemy.
Yeah. If you want to be. And then obviously you've got terrain and stuff that might take up some days.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's like this is one of the ones I was saying about with Monara. I don't think it's as good. The other thing is your distance from the enemy objective is about 23 inches at best. Depending on where you deploy, and that's if you deploy in like a weird corner bit, as close as you can get to their objective.
In Knife to the Heart, you really want to have a deep striking boat anyway.
Yeah. So when you look at the options on this one, if you go to a tournament and and then they announce the battle plan ahead, and you've got this, straight away I'm going to be thinking I'd rather have Zilfin rather than Monar or Grapple. There's also quite a lot of space where your enemy can't own you out, where you can drop a ship potentially.
Yeah, or they can space you out. Usually, if your opponent knows what you're trying to do, and if they're a good player, they'll know what you're trying to do. They'll try to space you out. But that's what.
But there's some potential places in your own deployment zone where you can drop the ship, and then disembark and be able to threaten their objective. You see in the top right of the battle plan, if you're the red player B, if you drop the ship like on the edge there, where they can't obviously space out because they won't have deployed there, and you'll be 9 inches from them. By the time you disembark and stuff, you could easily then just grapple in onto their objective.
You should be able to, yeah.
So I think it's an interesting one because I think they're focused a lot of so if you're the player will focus a lot of the units in the middle, and they kind of almost ignore that flank potentially, especially if they're trying to take up space. They might end up ignoring that flank a little bit. Which could be
that top flank, yeah. Okay.
It's also something to be mindful of yourselves.
Yeah, no, you gotta defend that section of it.
Yeah. But the other nice thing about if you drop your ship there is you turn the board long way, which is quite good for us with shooting.
Yeah.
Really? Pardon?
Just gives us more time.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I prefer the way the battle plan works now.
It's more clear. It's more clear where the objectives are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are slightly further apart, which is good for Knife to the Heart.
It still has that weird thing where it's basically from the start of the third battle round, you immediately win.
Yeah, so basically, if you hold both objectives at the end of the second round,
Yeah.
you immediately win.
Yeah.
The second it ticks over to round 3, and you've got both objectives, you instantly get it.
Yeah.
Which can make for really short games.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, because of the way you gain control of objectives, even if you go first in the second battle round, if you get a combat unit on their objective and you don't manage to take control in your turn, if the fighting continues in their turn, which would be the second turn of the round, and then you end up taking control of it, then you take control of it in your opponent's turn.
Yep.
Because you gain control of objectives in both turns, but you only normally score in your turn, which a lot of people don't realise. So yeah, yeah. So that's something you need to watch out for. Is don't think, oh yeah, well, it's my turn, so they don't get control of the objective, because they do. And then, of course, as soon as the next battle round starts, if your enemy units got some models in your objective, you've basically then lost.
Yep.
Anything more to add about that?
No, tournaments like to use it because it forces a lot of minor and major wins, which is really good for splitting up the scores. So it's going to be in most tournaments you go to, this mission. Yeah. It's just good to learn to know exactly where the shortest distance is to get to it. Like, it might be useful to just before a tournament set up that kind of board in your house and just practice a little bit of setting up the boat in such a way that you can you'll charge range or thunder or slingshot range.
Yeah, if you're not going to grapple, then you need to be putting the boat in that far left-hand corner. But if you're dropping from a ship, you can put. There's lots of places you can go. Then you'll be grappling.
Yeah,
this is still viable with Monar, I think, but I know your enemy's obviously gonna defend their objective well.
Yeah. Well, Monars are just like you got to be able to smash through their first defenses.
Yeah.
Which you can with enough Endling Leaguers, which you can.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hope you don't play Fire Slayers because that's just that's never gonna work.
Yeah, Fire Slayers are strong in this one because they can deep strike as well. And they can deep strike against us. Yeah, pretty much any army, if they can get into combat with us, they can end up killing us unless they get to fight themselves. So yeah, I'm talking about one of the Fire Slayers. Move on to the next one.
Yeah, Total Conquest. So
I have this one that's in the tournament I'm playing in a couple of weeks. You saw that?
It's a pretty basic one. Just get a point for every objective you control at the end of your turn. If you take your opponent's
what's the interesting point? The interesting thing is it's kind of a mix. Normally battle plans are of two types. they're either objectives in your deployment zone and in your opponent's deployment zone, or they're objectives in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is a kind of a bit of both, because you gotta have two objectives that are basically yours, except for one of them isn't actually in your deployment zone.
Yeah, you've got two objectives that are slightly out of the deployment zones.
Yeah, and you get an extra point if you take the objective off your opponent.
Yeah.
So, like those ones that aren't held are almost kind of a bit of bait. But I don't think you want to be trying to take them turn one.
You don't want to take them.
Then
you want to let your opponent take them and then go after them.
Yeah, you do want to take them turn one if you go second, but not if you go first. Because if you go first, then you're only getting a 1 point from it. But if you go second, you get 2 points, and then you. Yeah. But it kind of depends on whether you can easily set up and put a unit that isn't controlling the objective, but then if your opponent moves on to it, you can then take it off them and then trade units where in a favourable way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just showing restraint, probably patience.
Yeah, but deep striking I think is going to be useful in this one again.
Oh yeah, to just take the opponent's objectives, but go for the ones on their side of the board. Don't go for that one on your side.
Yeah, go for the one in their. But again, the distance on this one is like you're 22.7 inches apart, I think.
Well, at the furthest point, you're 24. I think you're 24 away from each other.
Right. Yeah. I've done the math. If you deploy like opposite each other and you go in a straight line, the closest you'll be is 22.7.
Okay.
But then obviously, if you start going diagonals or whatever, then you could be any distance from you.
Yeah.
Which is still almost viable for me. The objective on that's just outside your own deployment zone, you're 5.3 inches from that.
Okay.
You can potentially put a model on to hold that from the start. You obviously don't get control of it until the end of a player's turn.
Yeah.
But it stops someone just putting say somebody's got like canary heart renders or something cheap.
You want them to do that.
Pardon?
You want them to take that from you turn one, though.
Yeah, you always do, but depending what you play against, you don't want someone just getting a free point.
But then if they get 3 point, you get 2 points.
Yeah.
So just
even doesn't it? But it depends if someone you've got to be careful if someone's trying to set up a trade. So what you can do is maybe move a unit out there that's cheap. Like an 80-point, 100-point unit that takes that objective. If you watch, you see your opponent doesn't put any models on it. They're not within that 6 inches. You can go out and put a unit of 3 Sky Wardens in range of the objective. Obviously, in their turn, they take it off you, score 2 points. But to take it off you, they got to use something that's a higher point value to kill those 3 Sky Wardens. They'll probably end up having something stronger in. And then you come after that with a bigger unit and kill whatever they kill, and you've then killed more points wise. You don't get more objective points than they would have done.
Okay.
But you've killed more models than they have. In fact, actually, you would score 1, and they would score 2, and then you would score 2. You would end up with more points. Like if you're playing a 3-turn game there, as opposed to a 2-turn game, there's a potential.
All right.
If you've got some like cheap units and they don't take it,
yeah,
like
it's a risk.
You almost use their bait against them. Like they set up bait, of then bait something in and take it, and then you go, oh no, they haven't checked, and then your chap is bait their bait unit, then kill.
Yeah.
But I like the deployment of this one. It's easy to set up. You just get one.
Yeah, go from the middle into the corner. Yeah.
And it's easy to do as opposed to the previous ones were a pain in the arse.
Yeah, diagonals have always been a pet peeve.
Well, because it used to be that you do a diagonal line on the middle, and then you have to measure 9 try to describe that diagonal line, and then build another line from that to work out where your deployment zone was, which is a huge pain.
This is way simpler.
Yeah. These
okay.
are also small deployment zones.
These are what?
Relatively small deployment zones.
Kind of, yeah.
Like if you're playing with Dolphin, there's a lot of space there that your opponent can't space out. There's a lot of area they can't. A lot of board control places they can't stop you dropping a ship.
Yeah. So you'll have a lot of options with it.
Yeah. Should we move on?
The next one, Duality of Death. Which is a bit of a change.
Yeah. It's ones like this where make me think I want to move to like a frigate.
Well, I think not even looking at deployment, just looking at the mission itself, there is a big change, which is behemoths can't take objectives anymore.
Yep.
So you used to be able to just dump an ironclad on an objective and it'll be fine, but now you need a hero.
Well, this is the one that's also always a bit weird. I think they've left the rule in there. Where it's the end of you get control of an objective. At the end of any type of move, you have a hero or battleline unit on it. So, and that's the same as how it used to work. So if you drop the ship from the sky, because that's not a move, and then anything that disembarks from it is not a move.
Oh yeah,
get control of the objective. So you actually can't deep strike onto the objective.
You actually have to move on, but now it doesn't matter because the ships can't take them anyway.
No, but a hero could. A hero, if you deep strike a ship and embark a hero, the hero doesn't get it.
Yeah, so this is better. This is the better one for Mornar.
Yeah, although the awkward thing for Mornar is normally playing a one-ship list. So you're sacrificing one objective. But it's a good one if you have something like Brock.
Yeah.
That can
move on that objective.
It's a shame for us because the battle units can now take them. And none of our battle units are very strong for holding objectives.
Yeah, not really. An admiral might be good here.
Yeah.
Or
to be honest, actually, a navigator is not a bad pick here because he's got free up save, and you kind of want him to move forward anyway. If you're playing against an army that can fly. because then you can see half their movement.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how they work for battle line units. Like, say if you mercenary in, but what would normally be a battle line unit, they can't count as battle line for your army, but do they count as battle line for scoring objectives? And the same with allies. Like if you ally in some dwarf warriors, which will points, unfortunately.
I think they do, yeah.
Would they step count as
the only thing, so you wouldn't Stormcast, you could only use Liberators as battle line. You couldn't use Sequitors.
No.
But you could get a beefy unit of Liberators or a Fire Slayer unit to go and grab one.
Yeah.
If you want to take battle line as allies.
The thing is, would they count? The question, because ally mercenaries don't count as battle line for army building, but do they count for objective scoring?
I think they would,
because they're still a battle line unit, but
they still have the battle line keyword. They just don't count as it for your purpose of army building, but they are still battle line.
Well, yeah, but it's not a keyword.
Yeah, you'd have to ask the TO on a.
Yeah, I might have to double check the FAQs. It might already be in the FAQs. We've had a couple of comments. Is there any chance you could turn your speakers down a bit more, Alex?
Any chance I could what?
Turn your speakers down a bit more of the echo. I think people are struggling to hear a bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's better now. Also, Zach Ward is saying you can fit 4 ironclads in one list.
You could do what?
You can fit 4 ironclads in one list now.
Yeah, you can. With how many points they've gone down, I think Sydney GT, that's a big one coming up for us. It's going to be 2,500 points. I could technically take 5 ironclads if I wanted to.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Because, I don't know how it would. It won't be an effective list, but it'll be a hilarious list.
Well, depending on what allegiance you play, if the new Greywater fastness still lets war machines shoot in the hero phase, it could be pretty fun.
Is that what Greywater fastness does?
It's what it currently does. I don't know exactly how it works, like if it's only once per game or if it's every turn or if it's within range of a hero. But I mean, it still wouldn't be that efficient compared to having lots of artillery. But it still would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And you could take a Lord Ordinator as well.
They get all their buffs off all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be interesting. But how many ironclads do you actually own?
I own 2 so far.
Yeah, you'd need 3 more.
Don't test me. I will do this.
Well, to be fair, that's probably one more than most people have.
Yeah, I've gone to a few Facebook sales.
Yeah. Anyway, back to these battle plans. Do you think for this one, you would basically just deploy on one side of the board?
I think so. Yeah. Don't spread your force out. You need everything to be together to get the chemist working and the screens working properly. So basically, just pick a corner, sit in it.
Yeah.
And then have the boat take the other objective.
Yeah. One thing about because the way this always used to work, because you could just deploy in the middle, you could just sit in the middle and then shoot anything that went onto either objective.
Yeah.
So with Zilfin now, you can just drop the ship in between both objectives.
Well, you drop the ship on one objective, and then you have your entire army defending the other objective.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd go close to one of them release, wouldn't you? But you need to. It's about the key thing is getting the hero onto it. And depends where the train. But by being more towards the middle, you'd be in range then to shoot the other objective.
Yeah, but your whole army's got that other objective. You don't need to put the boat in that as well.
Oh no, I meant like you deploy your
one
on that one objective basically, and then you'd still do the go for one side of the board thing, but because you can drop the ship more towards the center, you can get in range to shoot stuff on the other objective better because they're quite far apart.
Yeah.
So, like, if you were playing Monar or any other list, you have, say, a big unit of Arcanauts in one of those corners, it effectively is quite far from the other objective.
Yeah, they're not getting over there.
I haven't done the math on it actually. No, but even for shooting, like if there's a hero on it, they're not actually going to be threatening it. Not for a couple of turns anyway. Because it's
so you have to counter your opponent pretty well then.
Yeah.
See what you're gonna do.
Like I could see this ending up with a lot of minor victories if both players basically just go for one side of the board.
And they just hold one objective for the whole game, yeah.
Yeah, and neither player actually threatens the other one that much.
Just stand on each other's objectives and just glare at each other. Yeah.
Or you'll get into combat like turn 4 or something.
Yeah.
Well, there's another good one for riggers. We can grapple onto the other objective and assassinate that hero.
Yeah, so again, this is a good Mornar. This is a good Mornar scenario.
Well, it isn't. It isn't. It depends where your opponent deploys and where you deploy. Like, say if you both deploy on the same side, that's good for Mornar. If your opponent deploys in the opposite corner to you, like you're not going to be charging in with riggers turn 1. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's if you want to play Mornar with the new objectives, you need to be thinking more about going second with it.
Yeah.
Which is generally speaking, like a better way of going anyway. With it, regardless of whether you play Mornar or not.
Yeah.
It's something I prefer to do. Because you can deploy out of range and then let your opponent come forward and then hit whatever comes forward.
Yeah. Should probably push on to the next one.
Yep. This is another one I've got in the tournament coming up.
Okay. All of these.
Pardon?
So you've pretty much every single one of them has been in your tournament so far.
This is the second one.
Okay.
So it was only Total Conquest before.
Oh, you're not doing Knife to the Heart?
No.
Oh, all right.
And not doing Reality of Death.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it would be quite interesting.
Well, the thing about this one is we're going to be very far. Like you are very far apart from your opponent in this one.
Yeah.
The very.
Not you're going to be obviously you start 20 inches apart, but the effective reality of it is you end up being more than that away.
Yeah, because only the very tip is 24 inches apart. Most of your force, and I've played this kind of scenario, this kind of deployment in other games before. Most of your force is going to be along those triangle edges, and they're going to be 30 plus inches away from each other.
Yeah. Particularly if your opponent's got things like Terror Guys, Zombie Dragons.
Yeah.
They're going to fit in that top point.
No, not usually.
So they're big monsters are going to be further back.
It's very nice for a shooting army that goes second. If you go first, you're probably actually going to be out of range because your Arcanauts aren't going to be in that little triangle spot.
Well, you can get, say, if you've got a big blob of Arcanauts, you can potentially fit a few. I'd have to. You wouldn't necessarily have to get 12 in there, but you'd get quite a few.
You could, but you don't want them to be. You don't want the Arcanauts to be up the front anyway, because if they're up the front of the triangle, they're not being screened, and they will get killed.
And the other thing is, they're only probably going to end up shooting a chaff unit, like a little 5-man unit or something that can fit in the tip of your opponent's triangle.
So no, you definitely want to go second here, and you definitely, but it'll be good. It'll be good for your long-range Skyhawks.
Yeah. The other thing I've worked out is you can, like, there's lots of space to drop a ship. Like your deployment zones are tiny in this.
Yeah, really,
especially if there's terrain taking up space.
Yeah. So you should have plenty of space to deploy the ship on one of those side objectives. This is good for in general.
One thing I have worked out is possible. I'm not sure if I want to do it. Is that you can deploy the ship in between both objectives, and by the time models disembark, they'll be in range of both objectives in the middle.
Yeah,
but
if you deploy them, you're going to get charged really quickly by their entire army.
Yeah. But you could potentially. I mean, it depends what you're playing against. You could potentially go for a shock tactic where you do literally just deploy your ship in the middle, put 2 small units on each objective, and shoot as much as possible that's in their backfield, and then charge riggers onto their objective.
Yeah.
And then they're like, shit, I've got nothing at all. And then they're like, then they have to choose between going for your riggers and retaking their objective, which, by the way, is worth 4 points to you.
Yeah,
or going for the 2 middle objectives. But they're certainly not going to take all 3 back, especially if you're effective with your shooting and your charge. I think a lot of what will determine this one will be where the terrain is.
Yeah.
Because that's going to have a massive impact on where you can deploy.
Yeah.
And where it could just a piece of terrain being half in a deployment zone will just basically stop units deploying on that side of the triangle, or unless they deploy really far back.
If it's a big bulky bit like these like the new pyramid temple things.
Yeah, unless it's a piece of terrain you can deploy half on. But if it's something that you have to walk around, and it ends up being between you and or your opponent's units and the middle objectives, it's really going to hamper them getting to them.
Yep.
But yeah, it's quite a long a long
It's a long
distance one. It's also not good for armies with terrain that need the terrain for a buff.
Oh yeah,
If
like
they
these.
have, and Gloomspite, because they have to put the terrain in their deployment zone.
Yeah, Nurgle doesn't. Nurgle can put it anywhere. They'll put it in the middle.
Yeah.
But Beastman and Gloomspite, yeah, they're not gonna have fun.
I'm not sure about FEC where they can put it.
I mean, they just put it in their deployment zone, don't they?
Yeah. But to be honest, they might be they wouldn't be too worried about having it far back.
No. They're okay with that.
Yeah. One thing to watch out on this one is stuff deep striking behind you.
Yeah.
If you try, because I can see a lot of people focusing on being like, "Oh, I can't get in that triangle at the front," and trying to get as far forward as they can.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I think those triangles are too small. Even if they just deploy it only at the front, or only on the edges, there still might not be enough space to put a boat and all the guys who come out of that boat.
Oh yeah, but not. I mean, not necessarily just with KO, but like if you're playing especially in courts, and then they summon a unit of flayers or a unit of ghouls, they have to be within 6 inches of a table edge, and they could potentially go behind
you.
Or
you.
Pardon?
Flesh Eater Courts still need to be 9 away from you.
Yeah, but there's also the table edge next to your triangle.
Yeah.
And the table edge near the objective. So you could be like on your opponent on their corner, and they can just pop behind you on the objective.
Yeah, so you got to screen the whole triangle basically if you're playing against that kind of army.
Yeah, well, and if you get onto the objectives, you just have to be aware that units won't be coming from your opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah.
The points on this one are quite interesting because 2 middle ones have 2 points.
Yep.
Your objective is only worth what to you?
1 to you, but 4 to your enemy. Yeah.
Which I think is how it always needs to work.
Yeah. You just need to hold the enemy's objective for 1 turn to make a huge difference in the game.
Yeah.
Which is very possible with deep striking boats and thunderers.
Yeah. Yeah, or anything deep.
I've usually been able to get the enemy's objective in this mission.
I played the old version of this and scored 9 points turn 1. And certainly start putting your opponent on the back. And to be honest, if obviously you've got to assume that you'll be playing 5 turns, but a lot of games don't play 5 turns.
Not usually.
No.
Someone gives up before the end.
Yeah.
Especially in tournaments.
Yeah. So if you get, and the awkward thing is, if you do get your opponent's objective turn 1, they have to take it back because it's worth 4 points to you.
Yeah.
But
which will divert the whole army backwards.
But it's only worth 1 point to them.
Yeah.
So they're forced to try and take this thing to stop you scoring lots of points, but they don't score many points getting it themselves.
Yep. And yeah, it just gives you more time to shoot them.
Yeah.
With your main battery of Skyhawks.
Yeah. The thing is, you want to be aware of anything you put on their objective is going to be dead. Because most of their army is going to be sitting behind it, sitting behind that objective, isn't it?
Yep. One Well, your army should be, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is you can get on your opponent's objective without even getting in their deployment zone.
Is it that close?
Yeah, because it's obviously.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I think it's only like 3 inches. Oh, I haven't done the math on this, but I'm fairly sure you can get, because you only have to be within 6 inches of an objective, which is quite a large space actually.
So it's looking like from the tip of the triangle to the objective is 6 inches.
Is it?
So if you go on one of the edges, you can get it. Yeah.
It's something to be aware of, that you do need to make sure you have models on there just in case. Because if you don't leave any, if you don't have any models there on your objective within 6 inches of your objective, just a chaff unit will just go in and nick it.
Yeah. Which means, also you could get those sky wardens with lights with their skyhooks and drag yourself close enough to their get out of the boat, drag yourself close enough to the objective to take it without actually combating them.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and the same with grapnel. Just take yourself to just outside of 3 inches.
Oh yeah.
And
then just sit there with your big unit 12 and then like shoot their unit until there's less than 12 of them and just hold their objective.
Yeah. And then that also army come, because they can't go past the sky warden unless they fly over them.
Yeah.
They're just in the way. And that's one of the things I am taking in my list. Units of 3 sky wardens. But with a grapnel water.
Yeah.
Which means I've got a 75% chance of one of them hitting. So if I just go out and either capping objectives late game or early game or acting as cheap screen.
Yeah.
And also with a volley gun. So they've got just obviously got, so they'll have like that 36-inch threat range. Just to put 1 or 2 wounds on actually.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to see how they play.
I think there's a lot more. There's a lot of versatility you can do with them.
Yeah.
So the next. Ooh. Yeah, we should keep going on these. The next one, Star Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge difference.
I do and I don't like this. Like, I like the way that they've tried to make it less predictable where it will go. As in, there's not like the 3 points, and it's either one of these 3 points. Like you have to spread out a bit more, because you can't just go, oh, as long as I'm within 6 inches of that point and it lands there, I'm okay. Yeah,
no, they could be anywhere. They could go anywhere now.
But because the way it works, you roll 2 dice instead of 1 now. The odds are more often than not it'll end in the middle. Like more often than not, it'll be between 5 and 9.
They will be, yeah.
Like it's very good double 1 or double 6, isn't it?
Playing Settlers of Catan has taught me exactly how this works.
Right.
Yeah. 7. It's probably gonna be in the middle.
Yeah. And if it's not a 7, like 7 is the most likely outcome of rolling 2 dice.
Yeah.
But if it's not a 7, there's a good chance you'll get a 6 or an 8. And if you don't get a 6 or an 8, you'll get a 5 one. Like it's very it's only a 1 in 36 chance that you'll get double 1s.
Yep.
And a 1 in 36 that you'll get 12 double 6s. So I think this is going to end up with most people just deploying in the middle.
Yeah.
And this is one where I think having a big unit of Arcanauts is going to be really good.
Or just to just hold your
objective and
not let go.
And to shoot into the middle. And this is the one where they can still shoot. The opponent's objectives are close enough. Once they land, you can threaten them with shooting still with Arcanauts.
Yep.
To then weaken them before you charge in or something.
Yeah.
Right,
it's good missions for us.
Deep striking is not so good in this one, unless it's deep striking that you can be prepared to hold off on until all the objectives are down. Like if you've got an ironclad, you don't want to be holding off on that so much.
No,
but
no.
If you've got, say, 80-point Canary Heartrenders, then you're happy to leave them in the sky until the end of the game, and then go, oh, okay, they just drop onto that objective.
Oh yeah, because it's worth. Is it worth 1 point per turn?
Yeah, like, basically. So battle round 5. Yeah, battle round 5 is worth 5 points.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, you can't leave an ironclad in the sky for that long. It's just
no.
Yeah, too many points invested.
You could wait until maybe the end of maybe turn 3 to drop it. But I think if you do that, you've got to have some other stuff on the board.
That's probably better if you have like a frigate in the sky with not much else in it.
Yeah, like because with an ironclad, you're going to have so much of your army in that ship.
Yeah, you will.
And you won't have enough stuff on the board to stop your opponent coming across your side of the board, taking up space.
Yeah.
But this is another one that you need to be patient on.
Yeah.
Because of the way the point scoring works, if you rush in, it's almost tempting to rush in the middle, thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll be in the middle ready for when the first objective comes," but you're not going to score many points from it.
Now you get 1 or 2 or 3, and then your opponent beats you, and gets like 4 and 5 points at the end of the game.
Yeah. I think this definitely favours army builds that can survive.
Bloody fire slayers.
Yeah. But if you can afford to hang back and shoot for a couple of turns, then it's quite good.
Could be worth it, yeah.
And it's rather it's not. You don't want to get caught into bait on this one.
No.
Like shoot the bait. Don't get gung ho with your riggers too early.
Yep. So Scorched Earth.
Yeah, this is the third battle plan for the tournament I'm playing in a couple of weeks.
This one changed.
Yeah, massive change.
Like, okay, so we've got the 2. Well, there's 4 objectives now each.
Yeah,
but it's gone from the 12-inch lines just running at each other to people are probably going to lose those first 2 early on, but then there's also 2 backup objectives that you have to get as well.
Yeah. And obviously you can only raise an objective from turn 2.
Yeah. I'm not sure boats are going to be as good in this because, like, the opponent is going to be all over their deployment zone, covering all these objectives.
Yeah.
But like outflankers, ghouls, basically, the sea elves, people who come in from the edge of the board are going to be very good.
Yeah. Yeah, Deep Strike. I mean, the thing is, it's Deep Striking late can be good. Because
if you've wiped up their stuff to allow yourself to get down there, yeah.
Yeah, well, or more to the point, their stuff is it's not just gonna sit in their deployment zone, is it? Because they're gonna want to take your objectives, so they're gonna push forwards. And if they push forwards, once they start pushing forwards and space starts opening up.
It should do, unless they have like some small chaff units that are just spreading themselves all over their deployment zone.
Generally speaking, like deep striking the ship is not going to be good on this one.
No, not really.
Maybe if you have, like we were saying with Star Strike, a small frigate with not much in it that can drop later in the game. But at the beginning of the game, unless you're playing against an elite army, generally speaking, I think you're going to end up not having much space to deep strike.
I mean, I guess if you knew you were going to play both of this mission and Star Strike, you could pull a sneaky and put those aethospheric engines on a gun hauler if you really wanted to.
Yeah, maybe.
That's gonna slip into wherever it wants to be, and you don't have to, like, if you leave that in the sky until turn 4, turn 5.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The only trouble is it's only one unit, it's only one model.
Yeah.
So it's only going to be good for capping an empty objective.
Yeah.
But I think my little 3-man units of Sky Wardens might be quite handy on this one. If they get a grapnel off and then can go off onto an empty objective if one gets left.
Pull themselves wherever, yeah.
Yeah. Or just generally screening my front 2 objectives. So all I've got on them is 100 points. And let my opponent go first, and if they try and take my objectives, then just take them back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see this one easily going into a game of who goes first type thing. Because I could see someone taking the first turn and just being like, oh, I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to go first. I want you to come at me. And then, or like someone giving away turn 1 and then the opponent not wanting to go forward. So then they just kind of put some buffs up, do some spells, and they go, right, that's the end of my turn.
Yep.
So you kind of have some non-turns at the beginning potentially because you can't raise objectives turn 1.
Yeah.
So there's not a huge amount of incentive to taking them.
Not really, no. And if you get first turn, there's a chance. I mean, you want to go second to get that double turn chance anyway.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the D3 victory points, it's a third of the time you actually score the same amount of points as if you didn't raise it, which is really annoying.
Yeah. Someone's luck can really screw you over when you keep getting 1 point and your opponent keeps getting 2 or 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah. That can turn the game.
Luck of the dice going on, but in the end, it is a dice game.
Yeah. Well, I think the key thing though with raising these objectives is you stop your opponent from scoring them.
Yep.
So if you can sneak onto an objective with a unit you don't mind dying, and then you raise it, it's like your opponent. Yeah, well, they won't bother to take it back because obviously there's no point. But they're, potentially that unit they still need to deal with it.
Yeah.
It could easily end up being you could easily end up on the back foot trying to take back your objectives, but or kill enemy units in your own deployment zone, and then you don't get anything from it because they've raised those objectives.
Yep.
But I think grapnels are going to be very useful in this because with those obviously then you can then maybe just ignore those objectives and go over the top to your opponent's ones.
Yeah, although grapnels, you can't jump over models anymore.
Well, that's debatable.
The FAQ said was basically like, now you have to stop within 3 inches at the moment you touch anything.
Yeah, but it still doesn't. Like the rules for flying models basically say whenever you make any flying move, whenever a flying model makes any sort of move, you treat enemy models as if they're not there when you pass over them. So if you treat them as not being there, you can't be within 3 inches of them because you can't be within 3 inches of something that isn't there.
I suppose so.
But it's one of those ones where you could easily just end up having to concede that point, or a TO could easily rule against it.
Yeah, it seems a bit gamey.
It is gamey. It's very gamey. But rules as written, it does work. But because the obvious intent of the FAQ is to stop you going. Like they obviously wanted, like that's what they wanted to achieve with the FAQ.
Yeah.
And I think they just missed out the fact that the flying models
kind of ignore it. Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah. So the next one, total commitment.
Yeah.
So this one is definitely not a Zilfin friendly one.
No.
Because it's like you just can't put your ships in reserve.
No. Although with the older version of this, like I would have still been happy to play Zilfin with it. Because the way the objectives were, you could, and if you had Fleet Master, you'd just put your ship somewhere, wait for your opponent to deploy, and then just move the ship wherever you want.
Yeah.
In your deployment zone. And you can still do that in this one to an extent.
Kinda.
Like you've got a large area where you can just put your ship. You could just put the ship in your corner, and then because you've got Fleet Master, your opponent's got like no idea where your stuff's going.
Yeah. You could put the ship right at the very back.
Yeah. And then redeploy it anywhere you want.
Yeah, that might be funny.
You start like this is another one where the objectives are quite deep.
Yeah, they're only 6 inches away from the board edge, so
yeah. And even though you start 18 inches from where your opponent can potentially deploy, you are at the closest. You are 25 inches from their objective, or one of their objectives you're 37 inches from.
Yeah,
which is massive. 25 inches one is not too bad. And that's 25 inches from the objective, and you only have to be within 6 of the objective. So really, it's more like 19.
Yep. So it's a tricky mission.
The other thing is your objectives are quite far apart.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a list with one ship, you're basically picking one main objective and then one that's just going to have a unit of Arcanauts on.
Yeah.
So you're going to focus on one.
Yeah, because you can't spread your screen out that far, not realistically.
Yeah, I mean, maybe say with like your list, you could spread out your 40 Arcanauts across both, and then
maybe
you could maybe put your two 10-man screens in front and set them quite far back.
Yeah, but I don't know how well that would. Like, it would be a very thin screen.
Yeah. Right, but the way to do it would be to have the further back you go, the smaller that distance gets that you have to cover. And for us, it kind of favors to go further back because we'd rather be shooting than in combat.
Yeah.
But again, this is one where your Arcanauts just sitting on an objective aren't going to be threatening enemy objectives.
No, they have to actually push up. Yeah.
Wow.
Which you want to be really careful about, because if you're too aggressive, they will catch you out.
Yeah. And the other thing is, your objectives are really far apart from, your deployment line where you can, the closest place you can deploy. So if you want to deploy a shooting unit to threaten your opponents, they're not going to be on your objectives.
Yeah.
Unless you string them back.
Yeah.
I think
it's a difficult one.
I think this is another one where grapnels are going to be very useful.
Oh, to just move around the board, yeah. Grapnel's just a really good upgrade, really.
Yeah. Oh, it's massive. But you get more points for controlling an objective in your opponent's territory. So if you can nab one of them, it's worthwhile.
Getting it, yeah.
It's just getting to it is the problem.
Okay, so the next one, focal points. That's a favorite of tournaments. Like,
yeah,
almost every 5 day, like 5-game tournament will use this as their last game.
Yeah, they changed this, and I don't like the changes.
Really?
Because what I don't like is where the objectives are. Because it looks like the 4 that make a box. It looks like they're on the edge between the two 24-inch sections, but they're actually not.
No, it's all measured from the center one. It doesn't actually have any of the. You can't.
And measuring where they are is not easy because it's a diagonal measurement, and it's very difficult to get that measurement at the right angle.
Yeah, you could get. I see the problem.
So actually, getting those objectives in the right places is not very easy. It's a bit of a pain to set up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. The whole thing used to be just rotated like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
The objectives were nice and square, and the deployment was all diagonal.
Yeah.
Now it's just switched.
Yeah, so before deployment was awkward, and working out your deployment zone, but putting the objectives down was easy, and now it's easier to deploy and sort out your deployment zone, but putting down the objectives is a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
See, I don't know why they just didn't bother with those 18-inch measurements, and why they didn't just put them on those lines and give a measurement from the center.
Would have been a lot easier.
It would have been so much easier. Also, on this subject, total commitment, where that's changed to the diagonal deployment, has made deploying a real pain, because you've got to measure out a diagonal line, then try and get 9 inches from that diagonal line, and then put out another line so you know where you can go.
All diagonal deployment should just use the Total Conquest deployment. Total Conquest is nice. I like it.
Yeah. The annoying thing is that Total Conquest and Total Commitment have very similar names as well, so I get them mixed up. The point scoring in this one is important.
Oh, for focal points?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a really tactical. So once you set it up, it's a really tactical game. It's probably the most balanced of all the missions, which is why they use it for the big final game as well.
Yeah.
In all the big tournaments.
Yeah. Like there's different ways you can play it. Like you can try and go for the center and sort of holding the two objectives in your deployment zone, just hold that sort of triangle.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it will work so well with the new deployment. The way it used to work, you could almost end up ignoring the center and just surrounding your opponent in the middle. But not necessarily through intention, but just the way it worked by sort of taking an objective and then going to the next objective and then the next one. You end up sort of just taking all the outside ones and they end up with the middle one.
Yeah, now it's theoretically it's going to be the same, but
yeah, I think the key thing before was because it was diagonal. Each player ended up closer to one objective than they were to the other one.
Yeah, by quite a bit.
And so you would end up gravitating towards that one, and then everything would sort of spiral. Whereas now you're the same distance from both, and from the middle one, so it's more balanced. And so you won't end up doing this sort of washing machine thing where both players can almost sort of spiral around the board. Unless, of course, when you deploy, both of you sort of go for one flank more than the other.
Yeah, but both people try to outflank each other, and it just happens again.
Yeah. But it is one where if you Arcanauts can sit on an objective and shoot units on other objectives, which is called.
They should be within range of most of the enemy's things, yeah. Okay. Better part of Valor.
This has had a big change.
Yeah?
The main thing is you can't raise an objective turn 1 anymore.
Yeah, so just like with Scorched Earth.
Yeah. But what they have kept, which is different to Scorched Earth, is you can raise your own objectives.
Yeah, so it's you hold on to it as long as you can, and then just raise it.
Well,
which means
you can get to a point where you can auto win, because if you're enough points ahead and you raise enough objectives, your opponent can't come back.
Yeah, so it becomes the question: do you raise all the objectives like immediately, or like turn 2, or do you try and actually hold on to your objectives for as long as possible?
Yeah, it's based on how confident you are
of holding the line.
Yeah, because if you raise your own objectives and your opponent gets ahead of you points, it's very hard for you to come back then.
Yeah. As KO, I would suggest holding on to your objectives as long as possible. We are a defensive army in the end, so we should concentrate on doing that.
Yeah, we're a defensive army that can alpha strike really well, which is weird.
It's offensive deep strike.
Yeah.
It's maneuver steel rain.
Because we're not defensive in the fact that we're survivable. Defensive as in you need to play defensively to keep units alive, because they've got paper armor.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, sitting back and holding your objectives and shooting stuff will be viable at this, because it's lengthways.
Yeah. So, no, you're not too far away from the objectives. The There looks like there's going to be a lot of space behind the enemy lines to deep strike, though.
Yeah. Oh, have they changed? Oh no, the point scoring. Has the point scoring always been this way?
I think so. So you only get the points when you burn the objectives.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You don't get them for holding them. You only get them when you burn it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's always been based on how long you've held it.
Yeah. Shifting objectives looks pretty same.
Think so.
You roll a d3. That's your.
I mean,
what?
It's shifting objectives looks like what all battle plans look like.
It's very standard.
Yeah.
They're worth 1 each, except for the main one, which is worth 3.
Yeah.
Changes. You've got to be able to like move your army from one to the other.
Yeah. Something that's just occurred to me, which I hadn't realised before, was where they've simplified something. Like this has been simplified, rather than having the blue area and the red area go right to the middle of the board, and then say 12 inches from the enemy. They've made this. That's what they've done is made it simpler for you to work out where you can deploy.
Yeah.
But where they've done that, and they've also made changes to say Battle for the Past and the Diagonal and Total Conquest, where they've added quite a lot of objective territories like No Man's Land in between.
Yeah.
That has quite a bit of impact on some KO abilities for battle.
Yeah.
Because
not the big ones, but yeah,
with a minor,
a lot more No Man's Land, a lot of armies, and us. All these, if you are in your own deployment zone, or if you're in your enemy's deployment zone, there's a lot of area of this board that isn't anyone's deployment zone, so you don't get any of those abilities going off.
Yeah, and the other thing is with the hidden objectives, there's quite a few like that. That say if you have models in your enemy's deployment zone, things like that. So that's something that's only just really occurred to me.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say on this one?
Not really. It's very similar. It's just the key thing is you get 3 points if you take the objective from your opponent.
Yep.
Oh no, wait, no. If you get the primary one, no, I'm thinking of relocating. Yes, the primary one is 3 points, and the other ones are 1. So it's really about whether you own the primary one or not.
Yeah, which is going to shift every turn, so you need to be able to move with it.
Yeah. I think the grapnel launchers and riggers is really good for that.
Yep. Once again, standard upgrade.
Generally speaking, though, if it's say objective 1 and your riggers on objective 1 and it goes to objective 3, the chances are that even with a grapnel launcher, it might be difficult to then. You might still have quite a long charge to get onto it.
Yep.
Obviously, the ideal situation would be just to hold all 3. The reality of the situation is that's not likely to happen, is it?
Your opponent's usually pretty rude, and he tries to stop you.
Yeah.
It's just not sporting.
No, it's not. Yes.
Next is Places of Arcane Power.
Yep. That's had a good change for KO.
Has it?
Yeah,
it's
because
still
this one,
it's heroes. Yeah, okay.
so
It's just heroes, no relics or wizards required.
Yeah. I mean, we still don't have very strong heroes.
No.
They're still slow.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're into a tournament and this is in it, I guess it does maybe favour Mornar a bit because it's good for Brock.
Ooh, actually, I'd almost recommend a Knight Azeroth for this one.
Yeah.
The Stormcaster with the Lantern who can jump around and...
Yeah. Generally speaking, the artifact, what's it called? Thermal Rider Cloak could be quite handy, but just for getting a hero onto an objective.
Get a navigator who just flies around.
Yeah, or like say if you like just having a chemist, but then you move a bunch of riggers onto an objective to kill it, and then the chemist also runs in that direction.
Yeah.
And the extra 4-inch move and the fly, quite helpful.
So it gives you plus 4 inches.
Yeah, plus 4-inch move and fly.
Okay.
Which you start 12 inches from the objectives on this one, which means by the time you disembark from the ship, like if you're not deep striking, the ship's within your deployment zone.
Yeah.
Like a standard 4-inch move hero, if they've got the Thermal Rider Cloak, they could easily be in range of that objective.
Yeah.
But
because you move about 3 and then you move 8, which is 11 inches.
Because you have to go in 3 inches of these objectives as well.
So yeah, if you get out of the ship, you'll easily be, and with Thermal Rider, you'll easily be within, well, an inch.
Yeah. To be honest, you could, if you didn't have Thermal Rider, you could run, disembark, and run, and you would
probably use a command point.
Yeah, even without a command point, you'd move a minimum of 9.
8.
No, because of your base, you're within 3 inches plus your base size.
Oh yeah, your base size.
32 mil base, so you easily get an inch there. So you get an inch and a bit there. So you end up being 9 and a bit inches.
Yeah, which will get you just within that 3 inches if you do it just
in the right place, and you deploy exactly like you put the hero, exactly opposite it, and get the 4-inch deployment disembark.
So that's pretty good.
But generally speaking, I think we're going to need to try and just snipe heroes on this one.
Yep, do as we always do. Just deny them the points, and then get 1 or 2 points at the end of the game and just win.
Yeah, and because it's diagonal, you end up with this thing where you have, like, on your left-hand side, the area is quite small. There's not a huge amount of space to deploy, especially big units and things. So I would generally deploy on my right-hand flank more and try and turn it lengthways a bit.
Yeah.
And say stuff like shooting units, if you can get them towards the middle where they can shoot at the left-hand objective.
Yeah.
So you still put pressure on it and kill stuff in there, and then you try and keep your hero on the far right-hand objective, where he's going to be relatively safe because they can't deploy a huge amount of stuff on that side. But it depends how your opponent deploys, obviously, because like a KO army can obviously just put pretty much everything in a ship anywhere they want. So, and there's other armies.
Clown car.
Yeah.
Gary's speciality.
Yeah. But other armies can do similar things though, where they can get like you could put a small unit there and then hide fanatics inside it and stuff, where you can get more stuff into a small space. And generally, armies that can deep strike will always be good in every objective, obviously. So,
it's always a benefit.
Yeah.
And finally, relocation orb.
Yeah.
God damn relocation orb. Where are those objectives? What are the measurements? Where? How?
They're not as bad as it's not as bad as it looks. It's better than it used to be. Like
no, they used to be on a grid. You could kind of they used to be on a grid. You could kind of measure out where those things were. It was like they were all 12 inches apart, and you could like use right angles, and you had to do a bit of Pythagoras theory, but that's fine.
So I think once you work out where these ones are, they're not so bad. Because right, so
we have
the middle one. You do have a reference, and you know how I said in focal points there's a problem where it looked like it was on the line but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, these ones they are on the line. It's fine.
Two of them are.
Yeah, two of them are.
What are the other two doing?
Okay, let me explain where they are. So first, for the middle one, it's just in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
That's it. The two working. Oh, something beeped at me. Oh, I think I don't know what it was. I think I had a message on Facebook Messenger or something. The next two working outwards, they're on the 24-inch line if you're playing on 24-inch sports. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's halfway down that line between the edge of the board and the center. So it's basically 12 inches in.
It's 12 inches in, yeah.
It's 12 inches in from the long board edge and 24 inches from the short board edge.
All right.
And then the next ones is basically still 12 inches in, but then 12 inches from the other objective. Because it's in the center of that square, of that 24-inch square. So I think they should have put the measurements.
They should have put measurements.
Because they had so many other arrows and stuff going on there, I think that's why they haven't done it, to try and make it look less complicated.
Yeah. But
your initial reaction of where do you put objectives is very valid, because it's like they haven't told you. I think once you know where they are, it's a bit better, because you're like, oh yeah, it's 12 inches from the edge and it's in the line.
Yeah.
So once you know where they are, it's okay. But initially, it's like, well, where are they? And I think all the curved lines and that look a bit like, oh my god, what's going on? But
yeah,
it's not
all the
so
squiggly lines, they don't help either.
No, but I think that's just so they just don't cross over each other. So,
yeah,
like it's not as bad as it first looks.
I guess so. I guess so.
But it's still going to
be. If we can definitively place where these objectives are supposed to be, then yeah.
It's still going to be swingy, because you get 3 points. You get different points depending on when you hit the objective.
Yeah. It's good. It doesn't, because the original one bounced into like you're in your opponent's deployment zones almost.
Yeah, almost.
So like wherever someone could get really lucky, not move, and have the objective come to them.
Yeah.
Well, in this one, it's kind of in the center, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, I played it once before, and it went from like one of the far right-hand objectives to one of the far left-hand objectives in one turn. It just went across the whole length of the board.
If you roll a bunch of 1s and 6s, it just bounces over and over.
But it's a lot of this is going to come down to priority rolls because of how you score the point score.
Oh yeah, because whoever goes second gets the most points.
And it doesn't even matter if you already controlled the objective. It's just if you control the objective and you had the second turn. So it's just whether you went second in the battle round or not.
Yeah, it's not a great tournament mission.
No.
Not like focal points. Although it does use the nice diagonal deployments, which I do appreciate.
The new deployment is much better than the old one, because the old one you had to do lots of weird measurements, and then not only did it give you a weird shape, but then it also said you had to be a certain distance from that shape.
That's right. There's a little 1 foot square of deployment that you had and everything.
Yeah, so it's like, and because of the fact that it gave you a weird shape and then said you had to be so many inches from your opponent's territory, it meant that you had like this weird sort of staggered step shape of rounded corners.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So deploying for it's going to be a lot easier. But it still have the thing where wizards or heroes with artifacts of power count as any models.
Yeah, that's right. Although I've checked with I've actually asked Games Workshop. 10 evocators do not count as 200 models. I was very sad.
How many do they count as?
They count as 20.
Okay.
They are a wizard.
There's another interpretation. You could say they count as purple. Or one of them counts as 20, and then you get the other 10, the other 9.
Yeah. But no, the whole squad, if it's 2 or more models, the whole squad counts as a wizard, and therefore the whole squad is 20 models.
Okay. If you have 2 units of 5 evocators on there, though, that counts as 40 models. Yeah. Which is silly because they're the same models.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like it'd be funny to have like 10 evocators surrounded by like hundreds and hundreds of goblins. But it's fine because those 10 evocators, they're 200 models.
Yeah.
You can put like 3 maximum size goblin squads, and I will still outmodel you.
Well, the other thing is, it's only within 3 inches of the objective.
Yeah.
So you can't realistically fit more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12, maybe 15 models on an objective at most, if they're on 25mm bases. I mean, someone's probably done exact now, but I'd be surprised if you get more than 15 within 3 inches. But because it's only 3 inches, you can zone out objectives.
Yeah, you can just put the evocators in a wide enough spacing to stop anyone from getting anywhere near it.
Well, even if you have models that aren't wizards, like an Archnaut company or some riggers or something, if you spread them out in a little circle, you can kind of do it in such a way that even if they get charged and die, your opponent still doesn't gain the objective.
For a turn.
Yeah.
That's a good tactic with these small objectives. Yeah.
Okay, that's all of them.
I think that's, yeah.
So, what's your overall thoughts on how?
I think most of the changes are really good. Some of them are really interesting, like the Scorched Earth. I really like Scorched Earth. And Battle for the Pass and Duality of Death. Duality of Death with the 4 deployment zones is really fun.
Yeah.
And definitely helps KO for the most part. or other shooting armies, I guess.
I think most of the changes are positive. There's some arguments to be made that with the new terrain rules, that some of the small deployment zones could easily be sort of messed up.
Yeah.
Play the new terrain. But I think most tournaments should have the terrain ready for you.
Especially with the with like homemade terrain that you can't really stand on very well.
Yeah. But how, like, so you said in the past that a lot of tournaments in Australia ask you to bring terrain and then you place it?
Yeah, they have recently, yeah.
So do you think they will adopt the new terrain rules? Where there'll be some, at least to an extent, so the three pieces of terrain or pieces however many they ask you to bring, we'll have to alternate placing them or something.
Maybe.
Because say if you're playing Duality of Death,
yeah,
a big terrain piece in one of your opponent's deployment zones on that, or then it completely messes up that whole deployment zone.
Oh yeah, especially if you have like a especially nasty piece of terrain that's just jagged edges all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and just all very big. So it takes up lots of space and stops them deploying on the line or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Lords of War, so the most recent one, had preset terrain on all the tables.
Yep.
Although most of that was good. It was a good tournament. However, some of that terrain was just the Chaos Fort. You know, the old Chaos Fort?
Yeah.
Which was just this, and that was all the terrain that was on it. It was a Chaos Fort, and there was this huge line of sight blocking, impassable looking terrain that we had kind of awkwardly shuffled around.
Was it put together like one massive piece? Was it spread out from bits?
It was a bit spread out, so there were two main pieces. There was like two massive walls.
Oh, okay.
What kind of bisected the board into a couple of smaller pieces.
That's not good for shooting army though.
No, that was the one I fought the Chaos Dwarves on.
Yeah.
I didn't win that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I've played in a tournament before and there's been like a big bit of chaos fall on there, and where it's all put together to make a big wall, essentially.
Yeah.
And the TO actually took, because they were playing, different battle plans, have different layouts. They had to come over and like relocate it for a battle plan, because it just would have the dice roll for deployment would have decided the game.
Yeah, it just destroyed the deployment zones.
Yeah. But I guess that's also why they've put in things in like the new terrain rules. They have the maximum sizes.
Yeah.
Because obviously then you don't get massive bits of terrain like that.
Yeah, and I think all the terrain on the other boards was really good. It was just that one Chaos Fort board that was.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't want every board to look the same.
No.
But then if you have variation in what the boards look like in the terrain, then obviously sometimes that's not always going to be the most balanced way of doing it.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're going to do that, you probably want to make sure that's a table that would end up being one of the lower tables towards the end.
Yeah, you want the top table to be the most balanced, and the lower tables can do mostly whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Generally, with these battle plans, I think it's a lot of them. I tend to favour Azilfin lists with. But,
still open 100% of the time.
But there's a couple where I'm like, that's not great, like a clan cast.
Yeah, well, like total commitment, obviously.
Yeah. So, but I think that's mostly if you're playing like a Zilfin, like an Ironclad, and I think if you have a smaller, like a frigate base, it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
Which is where I'm going to move to, I think. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
My lunch is ready. My girlfriend's made me some lunch, so I think we'll call it a day.
It's like 11:30 over here.
Oh yeah, we're going to bed then.
So I think that's it for this podcast. So we're gonna have a couple issues with the next one because Google Hangouts is disappearing, apparently.
Yeah. So it's just dying. It's just going away.
It's just going away. Google's not replacing it with anything better. They're just discontinuing the service.
And the thing that they suggest to replace it with doesn't work with people from different locations.
Okay, yeah. Which is what
we do. So
yeah, I'm not flying over to your house every time we do this.
No. But I think I might have found a solution, but I haven't tested it. But
so yeah,
I mean, there will be a way of doing it. It's just how complicated that is and how long it takes us to figure it out.
Yep.
But,
we'll be back.
Yeah.
This isn't the end. We'll be back. We'll beat them. We'll beat you. We'll beat Google. But yeah, shame. And also, I'm just gonna put in a little plug here.
Oh yeah.
If you want some more Kharadron Overlord content this week, me, Gary, and Ben Spinetti are going to be on Warhammer Weekly discussing Kharadron Overlord in-depth deep dive.
It's not on Warhammer Weekly, is it?
Is it?
No, I didn't think so. You just said Warhammer. Oh. You don't know what podcast you're going to be on.
It's going
to be faction focused.
Yeah.
Which is AoS Coach.
Yeah, it's AoS Coach.
So when is that?
That's on Tuesday, which is in
just 2 days. Google Hangouts.
Yeah, that's also going to be on Google Hangouts. It's like the day before Google Hangouts disappears.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's in 2 days.
Yeah.
And should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be able to watch it live because I think it's going to be from time zones. It's going to be in the middle of the day for me when I'm at work.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to watch it because, you've got yourself, Gary Percival in it, and Ben Spinetti.
Ben Spinetti, another Australian guy.
Yeah. Ben.
Although he's a trader and went to play with Iden, so
yeah. Well, so Gary.
Okay, over there.
On cast for a little while. But
yeah,
all top guys that did stuff. So definitely going to be into that. And so make sure you're up for that. I think it's already on YouTube, like as a future event.
Yeah, so I think they've announced it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it for today, though.
All right, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you soon. Thank you, everybody. Yes.
Yeah, Dwarven Steel.
Remember, trust informatics and box position. Okay, right. I'm gonna stop this now then.